Greetings everybody, it's Rob from the Stage Tower and we are here with another Marvel Champions review. This time we are going to review the Rogue Hero Pack. Now, as I discussed a bit in my Gambit Hero Pack, there are quite a few previous heroes and content that has been overlooked or missed because I was a bit busy with everything and didn't have time to make videos for some motives and Mutant Genesis and all that stuff. That stuff will be coming to the channel. I'll be reformatting in a bit of a different way just because that stuff has already been out for months. So to do a review of it like this isn't as fresh since this stuff is coming out much more recently. So stay tuned for that on the channel. And if you are interested, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you can see when those videos do get published to this channel. Now, Rogue, similar to Gambit, both come out in February. They're the two new heroes for Marvel Champions, and they are definitely a dynamic duo, to say the least, about them. So let's hop right into the Rogue Hero Pack and see what she is about. Rogue, Anna Marie. 3 recovery, mutant, setup, set your touched upgrade aside. Withdrawn, flush response, after you change this form, set touched aside. Now, anybody who knows X-Men, you know that Rogue's ability is when she touches somebody, she kind of absorbs their powers and kind of gains the ability. She's super strong sometimes. She can fly, depending on the version of Rogue you see in the comics or movies. For instance, in the movie, she gets the white stripe in her hair is because of touching Magneto and kind of drawing his power and so forth. Rogue. 2 threat, 2 attack, 2 defense, solid stat line. Skin contact. Action. Attach touch to another character. You gain each of the attached character's traits until the end of the round. Limit once per round. Frost response. After the player phase begins, find touched and set it aside. So you can touch somebody, you gain their powers and the traits once per round, which means if you attach it to somebody and they get defeated, you can't reattach it. Keep that in mind. Of course, the touch card. This is a very weird art. But if touch is attached to a minion, your attacks gain overkill. If attached to a villain, gains retaliate 1. An ally, Rogue gains the aerial trait. Hero, Rogue gains stalwart. So it's important to note about this card. If you're playing one player, solo, solo Champions League, what have you, there isn't another hero for you to attach touch to, meaning you will never get the stalwart ability from this card. You will always have the ability to get the retaliate 1, maybe the overkill, maybe the aerial, depending on what's on the field. So, bit of a conditional thing, but you at least get the retaliate 1, which can kind of help. As of course, Gambit had Rogue, so Rogue's gonna have Gambit as her signature ally. 3 cost ally, 2 threat, 2 attack, 3 health. And let's play with 3 charge counters on him, as we saw in the Gambit video, which you can see. I'll post the link to it down below, as well as on this channel someplace here. The Gambit's ability is similar when he charges up his card and he throws it to deal damage. This mimics that by giving him 3 charge counters. When he attacks, he removes a counter to deal 1 damage. This is an interrupt, so it will proc before the hit, meaning you can actually proc and take a tough off with it before the attack actually does damage. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, it's a decent card, 3 cost ally for doing some damage and pings. But obviously, as we also saw, the team up card makes it worth it in my opinion. 1 cost upgrade, Rogue's Jacket. Now, her jacket is a nice jacket. Let's just say it as is. It's a bit of a weird item, but sure. While touch is attached to a friendly character, Rogue gets +1 throw. While it's attached to an enemy character, Rogue gets +1 attack. So if you attack to the villain, that means you always will have 3 attack. Attached to a friendly character, gives you that +1 throw if there's an ally in play, another hero if you're playing multiplayer, and so forth. So that's actually not bad. That's actually a pretty good upgrade. Pretty solid upgrade. 2-cost event, Going Rogue. Superpower Thwart. I will say this, and I will always say this for most videos. X-Men have superpowers. As a result, if you have Death Focus will work on these cards. Keep that in mind as a good combo to help reduce some of the superpower cards that the X-Men have. So again, Death Focus. Hero action, remove 3 threat from a scheme. If Rogue has Aerial, remove 2 additional threats, so an ally. Retaliate, Confusion enemy, that's really good. That's a villain one. And Stalwart, draw 1 card from the hero. I like the fact that because Stalwart is really powerful, and also really hard to get depending on the situation, it doesn't have the most broken ability. But 2 for 5, really good. 2 for 3 and a Confuse, also really good. Both definitely top picks. The Southern Cross, 3-cost event, superpower. Deft Focus. Deft Focus. All I'm gonna say. Hero attack. Deal 6 damage to an enemy. If Rogue has Aerial, there's 2 more damage. Your classic 3 for 8 that we see in most cards. Retaliate. Stun the enemy. Stalwart, draw a card. So, again, I like the fact that they're adding it to the ally and the villain are giving you the better benefits as opposed to, say, the Overkill or the Hero one for the Stalwart one. So, 3 for 8, if you have the bonus, is a solid one. Even 3 for 6 on a stun, also really solid. Can't go wrong with both of those. These are 2 solid hitting cards between this and Going Rogue. Energy Transfer. Superpower. Not gonna say it. Hero action. Attach touch to a character other than Rogue and deal 2 damage to that character. Heal 2 damage from Rogue and ready her. You gain each of the attached character's traits till the end of the round. Now this is an interesting card, because her ability lets you only attach it once. So this card will let you reattach it to somebody else, deal 2 damage, heal 2 damage, ready, gain the traits, and can change whatever your ability is. So that's almost like one of those like form change cards you see in Spectrum and the like. This is a really, I think gonna be a useful card in her pack. Bulletproof Bell, 1-cost event, defense superpower. When an enemy with touched attached to it attacks, run all damage from that attack and gain a tough status card. Okay, that's actually broken. This is a broken card, so you can essentially attach it to the villain, then you play Bulletproof Bell, prevent all the damage, gain a tough card, which can help you either next round or against a minion. So this is a really powerful defense card, and it's only a 1-cost. And you don't even have to tap for it because it's a defense card. So that is a good card. That is solid across the board. Solid. Superpower adaptation. That's a bit creepy with the Colossus like form. Hero action. If touched is attached to a friendly character, search its owner's discard pile for an event that belongs to the same classification as that character. Identity specific, aspect, or basic, add that event to your hand. So that means if I attach it to a Justice ally, I can pull a Justice event into my hand. If I attach it to my friend who's playing Gambit, I can take a Gambit card and put it in my hand. A Gambit event specifically. That's okay. I think the ally part's gonna probably be better. The issue I have with attaching it to like another hero is many of the hero cards are pretty specific with their abilities, you know? like it's very much like, you know, they're basing on what your character does. But since your character doesn't have same abilities, I think there's definitely combos. There's definitely potential here to do some crazy combos. I think. And it has potential. I think that actually has the potential to do some crazy work. I like it. I dig it. And those are the cards for her actual signature pack. But we're not done. We're going to go over the aspect that she comes with. In this case, Rogue comes with the protection, and we get Iceman, Bobby Drake. 3-cost ally, 1 thwart, 2 attack, 3 health. Enters play with 3 freeze counters on him. After a minion enters play, remove 1 freeze counter from Iceman. Stun that minion. Ooh. Ooh. This is that like this is that meme of the guy going, nice. Like, this is actually a really good ally in my opinion. It's like the protection version of Hawkeye. And the reason I'm saying this is because a lot of the minions coming out in the recent scenarios and packs are quite beefy minions. They do, you know, they have 5-6 health, they have big attack values. Being able to stun that minion to buy yourself a turn to try and deal with it is really useful. Say you're playing the Hood and, you know, the Wrecking Crew comes out, or Mr. Hyde comes out. Doesn't say anything about limiting it to elite minions, so you can do those as well. So these are all minions that have, like, you know, 6, 7, 8, 10 health minions with pretty big attacks on some of them. 2, 3, 4, you know. So being able to stop them from attacking you this turn, giving you a chance to kind of prepare what to do with them, or even to you know, to even hit them with a touch so you can, you know, get that overkill to maybe take them out, is a really good ability in my opinion. I like it. Karma. 4-cost ally, 0 thought, 0 attack, 1 health. After you play Karma from your hand, choose a non-elite minion. While Karma is in play, take control of that minion and treat it as a controlled ally with a blank text box. Its thwart is equal to its scheme, and it takes 2 consequential damage after it thwarts or attacks. I don't know. Like, I understand what they're going for, but 4 cost is a lot for a non-elite minion. I would say if you let me do an elite minion for 4, worth it. Non-elite for 4, off the top of my head, I don't know which ones are the good, you know, good ones to pick from that aren't elite. That's gonna be worth it. That can take, like, at the worst case for 2 consequential damage. I mean, the only thing I think this could be useful for is, say, I guess it would be useful in the sense if you have, like, one of those schemes like Venom Goblin or Mutagen Formula, or kind of like Zola, you know, even Sentinel, kind of, maybe. These scenarios where minion gets a lot of upgrades on them, and then you mind control that minion with Karma. Now you suddenly have you know, a minion that has essentially, oh, it says printed scheme. That's fine. You essentially could have this like 8-10 health minion that is essentially able, doesn't have the traits and stuff, but that's a stretch. It's an okay card, but I predict very little play in my opinion. Armor. 2-cost ally, 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 health. Play only if it then has the X-Men trait, Toughness. Armor is gonna see play. Let's just call it what it is. 2 costs for a toughness and a blocker is brilliant. I mean, why wouldn't you play it? You can play it, block that turn, next turn, attack from 1 or thwart, block again. Done. Solid ally. I think so far the allies in this pack have been much better than the allies in the Gambit pack. Untappable, we've seen this card before in the past. I'm not going to go over it. We'll just skip on by. Judoka skill. 2-cost upgrade. Uses 3 judo counters. When you defend against an enemy attack, remove 1 judo counter from here. That enemy gets -2 attack for that attack. This is a good card. What's kind of annoying is that you have to defend against the attack to trigger it. So you either have to play a defense card or physically defend yourself. But that's pretty good. Even to help you with like dealing with black and white allies, it can be useful in that regard as well. So I can see like that has potential. It's not the greatest, but potential card there definitely. Preemptive Strike, we've seen this card already. This card already exists. I'm not going to go over it, but it's a solid card, to say the least. Not today. I was going to say this almost reminds me of Never Back Down, because it kind of is. But you get +2 if you take no damage, remove 2 threat from the scheme. This might get some play. And the reason for that being, I feel like protection sometimes doesn't have good threat removal. So this gives you a way to remove threat while blocking, potentially readying yourself afterwards. That could see some play. I can see that getting more play than some of the other cards in this pack, for sure. Defensive Energy. When you spend this card to play a defense event, draw 1 card. Pretty simple. This one, unlike the Justice one, might actually get some play because a lot of times the issue with playing defense event cards is it puts you at a hand disadvantage for the player phase, because you have less cards to actually play and use. So this gives you a way to draw cards back in. Also keep in mind that we didn't see in the signature cards any double resources or resource generating cards in there. So you're gonna have to really pay for stuff from what you can build on, kind of. Moira MacTaggart, 2-cost support. But only if your identity has the mutant trait. After the mutant alter ego changes into hero form, exhaust to draw. That hero's controller draws 1 card. So that lets you draw a card when you flip up, basically. And anybody can do it, basically. Like say your friend flips up, you can give him an extra card. So this is a good X-Men card, I feel like. Definitely has potential. This is almost like a helicarrier in a way, kind of. The X Gene. 1-cost upgrade. The only if it enemy has the mutant trait, max 1 per player. Exhaust the X Gene, generate a wild resource for an identity-specific event. It's like they heard me, and they said, we heard you talking about this resource generating problem. Now they do limit it by saying it has to be identity specific, which is fine. But the X-Men now have a resource generating card for them, so I think that's a decent card. I mean, I would definitely use it in most X-Men decks. This card, I've reviewed this card in the Gambit pack. I'll say it again here. I think this is one of the better team-up cards in the game. 2-cost event to do 4 damage and 4 threat is amazing. Amazing. I didn't mention this as well in the Gambit pack, but you can use, since it's an attack event, you can build it up with your attack, with your charge counters. You can use the Justice cards to boost up the thwart. So there's a lot of potential with this card. A great team up card. And of course, the 3 energy types. So, and those are most of the cards in the pack. But as always, we know there's the Nemesis set and the extra encounter set. So let's go over those as well. obligation is Deadly Touch, as many people know who watch X-Men. Rogue kind of can drain too much energy from somebody by touching them. Give to the Animal player. If touch is attached to a friendly character, deal 2 damage to that character. Discard this card. If touch is not attached to a friendly character, place 2 threat on the main scheme. Discard this card. Okay. So it doesn't do anything too terrible. You can't get rid of it. But it can potentially defeat an ally accidentally or give you threat. The Nemesis is, of course, Mystique. 1 scheme, 1 attack, 6 health, the Brotherhood of Mutants, toughness, villainous. After Mystique engages you, search the encounter deck, discard pile, and to the side area for a copy of the Misled Treachery and shuffle it into your deck. Alright. So it's Mystique kind of be doing Mystique things. I believe she does something similar in her normal encounter set that she has from the campaign. Her side scheme is Mystique's Manipulations. As we know, as it says, Mystique kind of helped raise Rogue, so that explains the connection there. 2 threat per player. When defeated, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of the Misled Treachery and shuffle it into your deck. So again, it's going to just keep those misled cards flowing into your deck. Up to the point. So it's not the biggest threat in my opinion. Overall, not that terrible of a scheme. The misled card. Let's see this card that we've been talking about. Shuffle this card into your deck. This card gains surge if revealed. Force response. After this card enters your hand, place 2 threat on the main scheme. So basically, it's like a ticking time bomb in your deck that when you eventually draw it, you add 2 threat to the main scheme. That's not the worst thing that can happen, but it can definitely be one of the pretty bad things to happen if it comes at the wrong time. You potentially could end up, advancing the main scheme by accident. So I can see the danger in that. The leadership card for this one is Medlab. Oh god, he's back. I talked about this in my Gambit video. I'll say it here again. This person. Who is this person? If you know who this creepy character is, let me know in the comments down below. I must know who this is. It's really creepy. And while you're down there, be sure to hit that subscribe button and support me in the fact that this is a very creepy looking character on this art. Alright? I know it. You know it. So let's all bound together and see who this is. Okay? Anyway. Medlab. After an ally is defeated by consequential damage, exhaust Medlab. Place it here. Alter Ego action. Exhaust Medlab. Play the ally here as if it was in your hand. It enters play exhausted. Wait. What? Hold on. This is the sound of my mind is exploding right now. If it's defeated by consequential damage, so that means it has to defeat itself, basically. This lets you revive an ally freely. Now here's my question. If you Medlab play a character who says play from your hand effect, does that trigger off the Medlab? Because it says as if it was in your hand. So that's a question that needs clarification. Even without that, that's an amazing card. The enters play exhausted. I understand that can be a bit of a rough thing, but I'm not bothered by that. Let's imagine being able to bring back, a Maria Hill. Bring back Ant-Man. Bring back Professor X. Etc. etc. I think that's a really good card. I think that has potential. You could build decks around Medlabbing people back. And that's it. So now we're going to go to the Nemesis pack, as always, and the Nemesis packs, not Nemesis, my apologies. The encounter set at the end. This is the Reavers. Donald Pierce. 1 scheme, 1 attack, Elite Reaver, 6 health, teamwork, Reaver, villainous. First response after Donald Pierce engages you, reveal the topmost Reaver minion from the discard pile. Okay. So I hate the teamwork ability, can I just say that right now? It's really rough. Skullbuster. 2 scheme, 2 attack, 5 health, a Reaver. Teamwork, toughness. After Skullbuster engages you, place 1 threat on the main scheme for each Reaver minion engaged with you. Okay. Here's my question. I'm just going to go back to Donald Pierce for a second. I guess it means reveal the topmost. I guess it brings him back. Yeah. It's a... Right? It has to put him back into put him into play. So what's the point of revealing him? Unless by revealing the Reaver minion, it procs his teamwork on him automatically. Is that how that works? So why not just give him Quick Strike? I don't know. It's either that the minion gets revealed because it has teamwork. It activates Pierce and all the... Oh, I see why. I see why. Duh. It's because of the teamwork. It'll activate all the Reavers at once, as opposed to just him. Okay. Now I see. That's scary. Bonebreaker. 1 scheme, 3 attack, 5 health. Teamwork, toughness. After Bonebreaker engages you, take 1 indirect damage for each Reaver minion engaged with you. Alright. These guys are a bit beefy and definitely need to be careful with them. Wade Cole. This guy does not look like he belongs on this team. 1 scheme, 2 attack, 3 health. Teamwork. Doesn't have toughness. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a copy of the cybernetic enhancements and attach it to Wade Cole. Which we'll see what those are in a moment, apparently. Murray Reese, 1 scheme, 2 attack, 3 health, teamwork, same thing. Find the cybernetic enhancements and attach it to him as well. The side scheme is the Reavers. The player who defeated the scheme discards cards from the encounter deck until a Reaver minion is discarded, then reveals that minion. 5 threat plus the additional encounter card triggers all the teamwork cards from it. Alright, I can see this encounter being a bit of a rough one. Cybernetic, what? +1 attack. Attached minion cannot take damage after he attacks this. Okay, so pretty much it gives him a +1 attack, and he cannot take damage until he actually gets an attack off. Okay. I mean, that's annoying, but I can see the issue with that. So, add that. So that's what makes those other two a bit beefy. Gives them the ability to get essentially tough in a way, kind of, that can't be popped off until they actually attack you. Alright, so let's talk about Rogue. I think this is actually a really solid pack. I think this is actually probably better than the Gambit pack in terms of OP-ness. Like, I think she's got some really solid cards in her signature set. She's got some good protection cards. She's got MedLab. This package definitely gives you a lot of good things to play with. The X Gene. Even her ability is going to give you ability to play around a lot of different things. I think she definitely is going to be a solid hero. And I think that she's going to shake things up. I can see some crazy combos happening with her touch ability and ways you can use that supernatural adaptability card that lets you draw other cards and search for them kind of deal. I think that Rogue looks great. The cards look great. And overall, I think I'm excited more for the Rogue pack than I am for the Gambit pack. Even though I do like Gambit pack as well, it's an amazing pack. I think Rogue's probably going to be easier to play and pick up than Gambit, who has to flip a lot between Alter Ego and Hero, in my opinion. So, what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Rogue pack is amazing? Do you think Gambit pack is amazing? Team Gambit or Team Rogue? Let me know in those comments. And stay tuned for some more Marvel Champions content. Thank you guys for watching this video.